Hi, so my name is Indranil and I represent The Bull, which is Eden Management Company. And today we are with Mr. Boman Irani, who's the president of Credai in India, and wanted to ask a few questions and get his perspective. Mr. Irani, there's a lot that's happening around sustainability across the world. As you realize, we just had the COP28 summit. Where do you think we are right now as far as the real estate industry is concerned from a sustainability perspective?
So, Indranil, thanks for that question. Actually, it's pretty apt that you ask. You've heard some of the sessions that we had out here. First of all, there's so much happening around real estate itself and infrastructure in this country. And when you look at these sectors, they're actually adding to, let's say, the pollution around the world. We know the numbers. But it is also important to understand that without these industries actually doing what they're doing as of right now, we would not be able to have this engine of growth.
Absolutely.
That our Honorable Prime Minister wishes to have India or the new Bharat, as we've coined the program Reimagining Bharat, become. And the other thing is, this is happening at the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and that's why the choice of Varanasi to host this conference also. And we've done it in Nagpur, we've done it in Mysore, we've done it in Kochi before. This is the 5th one that we're having. Now, if you look at the subjects that we chose out here, sustainable development, even some of the sponsors that we brought on, they were people who would be able to help us, achieve this target. Third, the tie-ups that we've had and the pledge that we've taken.
Absolutely.
Now, I'll just touch upon the pledge. We've decided to plant 25 lakh trees across the country. We've decided to upgrade 1,000 government schools with one smart classroom, drinking water, potable hygienic drinking water. Add to that, good sanitation in all of them. We want to have this target number of 1,000. We also want to kind of upgrade the skills of 25 lakh construction-related workers. Again, something that will add beautifully. We'll add to their safety understanding. We'll add to their skill development, which will allow them to be, slightly better at their jobs and make some more money. Then we've also targeted 1 lakh green homes, certified green homes, to be launched in this year, which means that we've tied up with IGBC, we've tied up with Griha, GEM, and we've kind of decided that all developers should go in for green homes. And then 25 million square feet of green commercial spaces. Small step, but a beginning towards a larger goal.
Absolutely.
And that is the vision of my president before me, Harshji, had mentioned that we as developers should go green by 2030. We should go carbon neutral by 2050, okay? Which is about 20 years before the guidelines set by Honorable Prime Minister for the country itself. So if you start working towards an audacious goal, you've got to utilize as many of the resources or of the technologies that are available. So we had a session around how do you reduce construction cost, right, by 10%. We had successful developers speak about how or what are the things that held them in good stead. We had a discussion around how generations can continue to grow the brand itself. We've had discussions around technology. We had somebody from the government's government department come and speak about the vision for Varanasi and the vision for Uttar Pradesh. We had another speaker come and talk about the entire larger Indian government vision and how real estate or entrepreneurs can kind of work with the government, thereby establishing or achieving the goals and becoming an integral part of the driving force out here. So the idea of this entire conference was well-rounded overall development of my entire fraternity. 14,000 developers are part of Credai. We are spread across 230 cities. And 80% of my entire membership comes from tier 2, tier 3 towns. And all of these towns are going to go ahead. Now, if we do not inform them of what is available, they will do with the information that there is. And that is what Credai is trying to do. We're trying to talk to them about green and sustainable development. We're trying to talk to them about how to build their companies. We're trying to talk to them about how to imbibe technology. We're trying to tell them how to do it first time right. We're trying to tell them how they can save costs while doing it. Because there's no fun in creating something which becomes too expensive for people to want. And with all of that, we're also bringing in a Guru Gaur Gopal Das. We're bringing in Devdutt Patnaik to add the philosophical and the mythological inputs or studies to be able to help us keep that long-term vision. Otherwise, what we've observed is sometimes it's easy to get lost in the problems that plague you at the moment and give up before you achieve that ability to kind of reach your goal. And yesterday, one of the things that I liked that was mentioned by Additional Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh, he mentioned about the hockey stick, growth curve.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, we are at the same point that China was in 2007.
Yes.
And then we saw what happened to China. But you don't have to stop at China. It happened to Japan before that. It happened to Korea before that. So we are at that point in time where we as Indians can fly our flag really high. And real estate, which is one of the key drivers of most of these economies that have grown the same scale, can become, I would say, a flag bearer for our nation, become a massive pillar for the growth of our country. And I am happy to state that my fraternity has decided to work shoulder to shoulder with Credai, and so that we can work with the government to achieve our goals and targets.
Can I ask a follow-up question to the
Sure.
It's very interesting to hear your perspective. If you realize that most of the industry moves around a techno-commercial feasibility analysis, right? I mean, if it's commercially viable, then that's where developers really go and adopt a technology. Where do you think the government's push or policy-driven approach should be today from a Credai?
No, you're right, and but there's a small deviation, right?
Okay.
We do not only go towards something that becomes viable. We actually start working towards what is sustainable, what is the right thing to do. And what is the right thing to do? We all understand what the effects of global pollution and global warming are. And we all love our, let's say, the next generation that's coming. We want to leave a planet that's as good or better if it is possible for them. It would be right to say that developers have woken up to the challenge. Now they are aware and they have readied themselves to take on every aspect of sustainable development that is in the realm of knowledge that we have.
Sure.
And you'd be happy to know that we've tied up with IIM as well as Credai, and there was a session to start off with, as late as November last year, where an entire study has been started as to what are the steps A, B, C that can be taken. Sure. The long-term goal being the 2050 carbon neutral developments that have to take place. So we as Credai are working towards it. And it's not only important to work and achieve something in a smaller group, but the idea is to continually share and communicate this with the larger group of developers so that collectively what is done will benefit and have it spread a lot faster than it is today.
Just one more question
Sure.
on technology adoption. Since you spoke about innovation curves, we're going through a hockey stick approach. Where do you think we'll really see movement around 3D printing of homes? We just saw a video. There's a very nice house in IIT Madras. But then, if you think about that technology, mass housing for the poor can actually go to a complete inflection point using sustainable 3D printed houses. Do you think there's any framework that needs to be adjusted to be able to reach that?
Over here, thanks for that question. Because I like to say this. Everything I see happening in reality right now, I saw in the movies or I read about in maybe some books.
Arthur C. Clarke.
So many years back, right? And we're all. How do I say this? The process of imagination begins when somebody else stokes it or sparks it. And that is why don't let your I think it was Einstein who said the person with imagination is a lot greater than a person with intellect or knowledge or whatever it is. Because imagination is infinite, right? And we should keep imagining. Now, whether that technology will ever come and see the light of day, whether it will become a reality in the largest scale, doesn't really matter.
Sure.
The fact or the thing that matters is prefabrication had started so many years back as a thought process. Factories, would produce the stuff, bring it in and put it like Lego blocks out here. It is a thought. It has become a reality. It took some time. It went through its ups and downs. 3D printing of homes, yes. I mean, give every technology its due. Today, I was hearing about one of our sponsors who said that they're making water out of air and pure water.
Yeah.
And then after his presentation, I called him and said, all that is great. But if there's pollution in the air, and I gave him the example of Delhi, would you be able to give me clean water from there? He said, no. we're already doing it. Not would I be able to, I am doing it as of right now. So this gives me great hope. The future technology gives me great hope. The dwelling or the, going deeper into things that matter for us gives me great hope. I'm a student of life, and I think that everything that happens around us has a way of happening exactly when we want to do it. In the words of the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji said, "Find purpose, the means will follow." And I'm a firm believer. You decide you want to take a path, the world aligns with you, and just literally comes together and says, "Hey, we've got this. How would you use it, and how do we move ahead with it?" So, 3D printing, prefabricated homes. Who knows what else? I was in Turkey, and I saw that at the same time when the Egyptians were building pyramids, the people in Turkey were actually working, or rather building homes in mountains by tunneling through it. Right? Who knows?
Yep, absolutely. One last question.
And then that's what makes life very interesting, and that's what makes my business so beautiful.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for that answer. And one last question is, how was the overall experience at the event? We're even management company. We just wanted to understand, is there anything that we could improve maybe next time around? Feedback.
Yeah, thanks. Indranil, you'll do much better taking feedback from across everybody, but I'd like to say well done. I'd also like to tell you that the content around this conference has been brilliant.
Right.
And people have been engaged to the point is, when people hold their body requirements and wait till a particular speaker has finished or till that particular session has ended, tells me that it's a super kind of a content, great speakers, great mix brought in. So a huge congratulations to my team for putting it together. A huge congratulations to the entire MSME committee that worked on it. A huge thanks to the Varanasi Credai team for the hospitality that we've had out here. A big thank you to you for making the whole thing, you and your team, called the Bull Run. No, the Bull. The Bull, managing to do this, pull the weight of this entire conference and do a great job. And overall, it's been a fantastic experience. Varanasi, the first time when I visited last year, has kind of in a way drawn me to it. And I look forward to be able to enjoy the Ganga Aarti this evening, and thereafter hopefully have a darshan of Kashi Vishwanath tomorrow early morning before I go back to my Karma Bhumi, which is Mumbai. So once again, all the very best to all the teams. I encourage you to take on many more conferences like this and keep doing a great job. Keep Indranil in mind. He's done a fantastic job as well. Once again, thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Indranil.